City Wrestling.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Grind City Wrestling. I am Dustin Starr, and be sure to keep up with the show and tweet us at Grind City Media. Take that subscribe button to Slap City wherever you're watching or listening. Of course, you can check out the archives, grindcitymedia.com/podcast. And last week, I can't believe it, but they actually allowed us to title the podcast Mommies on Top. So Devin and I talked all about that. We chopped it up, and this week there were two huge premium live events over the weekend, one huge firing, and I've got WWE Tag Team Champion from Cryme Tyme. JTG is going to join me. Ladies and gentlemen, it is bell time. And introducing first my co-host, my tag team partner, the A-lister business owner here in Memphis, UFC referee, baby. It's E-Rock, Eric McMahon. What's up, E?
What's up, brother? I'm ready to get into it today. And I know we're going to want to talk about the two huge events, pay-per-view, all that, this, that, and the other. That ain't what should be dominating the topic of conversation, because I know firsthand Devin Walker, baby, cannot wait to talk about CM Punk. He loves him. He loves him.
Money. Yeah.
Hey, listen, anger manifests, love manifests in anger. And so he's always angry at CM Punk, which means he probably secretly loves him so much, like a huge #1 fan. That's all I'm going to say.
Be sure to follow Eric on Twitter at E_MacLife. And without further ado, it's the CM Punk fan himself, the third man in the trio, ladies and gentlemen, Devin Walker.
Baby!
What up?
You can call me a CM Punk fan. I got two words for you.
We'll be sure to follow Devin on Twitter at Devin_Walker. Man, there's a lot going on, Devin.
Can we just get
bro,
into it?
There's so much going on. Hey, look. I'm just here to tell y'all right now. We talked about this last week on the podcast, Dustin. What did I say?
Yeah.
I'm done with it. Fire him. Get rid of him.
And they did, so now we can talk about it.
Hammer is down. All right, we're going to talk all about CM Punk here in just a minute, but there was a lot of wrestling that's happened over the weekend and, of course, over the course of this week. September 17th, JTG is coming to Memphis Wrestling, so he's coming up. Next week on the podcast, another former WWE World Tag Team Champion, Darren Young, a.k.a. Fred Rosser. He's going to join the program, so back-to-back champions. Also, a great interview with Gunther a couple of weeks ago, who is going to break the streak that the Honky Tonk Man has for longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. So lots of really cool stuff here on Grind City Wrestling. Eric, best wrestling you watched all week. Let's go ahead and kick it off.
This is crazy because I've never been aside from just his gimmick a little bit, and he's too cool and he's nonchalant about everything. Dude, Orange Cassidy is becoming a superstar, man. And I can't believe I'm buying into it, but I'm buying into it, man. And so all I just got to say is, best wrestling of last week, this week, Orange Cassidy, man. He's just, dude, he's won me over. And at first I'm like, dude, this gimmick is going to play itself out in about 20 minutes. And then he just keeps getting, I don't know if he's even getting better, or he's just he's like a leech and he leeches on you and you just become a fan. I don't know what it is. He's got it.
Somebody in our comment section for last week's show tried to call me a clown because I said Orange Cassidy is a workhorse. He is a workhorse, bro. He's defended that belt, 31 times? He finally lost it to Moxley, but no one's worked harder in AEW over the last 3 or 4 years than Orange Cassidy.
Guess what? I agree with you. And he doesn't have a catchphrase.
Exactly. He doesn't.
And guess
he
what?
Has the best entrance song and the best entrance video in wrestling. Look at the background. Super cool highlight. Super cool finisher. I'm tired. Let's go. He is just.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Okay, all right. I have to tell you that I agree with both of you. And again, Eric, I did not get it either. And I didn't think I would ever get it. And Devin, he is a workhorse. He is so good. He defended that championship so many times successfully. This was excellent booking by Tony Khan because he literally made a superstar out of a guy who sticks his hands in his pockets. So shout out to Orange Cassidy. Shout out to Tony Khan.
And he can go, though. I mean, that's the thing.
He can.
Go.
He is so good.
All you nerds that try to call me a clown, how about you stick your hands in your pockets and try to do a kip up? Send me the video at DM Devin Walker.
How about you just try to do a kip up regular, much less with your hands in your pocket? But Orange Cassidy, John Moxley, really, really good stuff at the pay-per-view. I did think it was time for Moxley to win that title. He did, but I don't know what's next for Orange Cassidy. But you're right. He's become a superstar. He's a staple in the locker room or on television program at AEW. So Eric's
my
best
wife,
wrestling.
like early on, my wife, like, you know, when AEW was growing and when we were in the pandemic and all this stuff, my wife was like, yeah, I like Orange Cassidy. He's funny, you know, you know, and it was just funny, right? And she was like, I like him. He makes me laugh. I think he's cool. You know, his whole gimmick. And I was like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's worth watching. And now I'm a fan. And I don't know how it happened.
Real quick story: when AEW was at Landers Center, they did come visit the Memphis Grizzlies game. Bucks were there. Tony Khan was there. Excalibur was there. Orange Cassidy was there. And there were people dressed up as Orange Cassidy just because they heard that he was coming to the game. True story. That's how popular Orange Cassidy is. Devin, you're up. Best wrestling that you watched all week, and tell me why it's CM Punk.
Hell no. Screw you. It was such a great week. Go ahead, E-Rock, do it with him. Do it. Clobbering time. Yeah, that's for both of y'all. The best wrestling I watched all week. I think it was tough for me to pick one thing because there's two things that I have on my mind. I'm going to start out with my number one, and I usually don't give this much credit to the lower tier WWE pay-per-views because they usually just kind of pack it in. But Payback pay-per-view was phenomenal. And I it's hard to pick out one thing from that pay-per-view, but I will pick out two things. Number one, Trish Becky. Amazing. And shout out to WWE, and we always talk about what does WWE take away from AEW. They took starting the show with a banger. We've seen WWE shows in the past from the 90s and the 2000s. They'll give you like a cruiserweight title or United States title, like a lower tier match to start the show. AEW starts starting the shows with bangers. WWE starts Payback with a freaking banger, and Becky and Trish, 5 stars, 5 out of. Loved the match. Loved it.
Best women's cage match I've ever seen. I was highly impressed. I'm always impressed with Becky, but Trish coming back after a long layoff, he absolutely freaking killed it. It was tremendous.
And still like $1 million, man.
Yeah, she looks amazing. Also, her telling a fan to shut the F up was my favorite part of the show.
Man, that like the actual guy that it was so viral. It was awesome. And Trish looked fantastic doing it.
Always love when Trish is in the ring. I guess my 1A, because I guess we'll talk about the whole show. We'll talk about that later. But this is my 1A. What shirt am I wearing? What shirt am I wearing today?
My favorite. You're wearing the GOAT. That's what you're wearing. You're wearing the GOAT, baby.
But it's not. I'm not wearing the GOAT because of his reappearance on Payback. I'm wearing the GOAT because of his segment with The Miz on Monday Night Raw, baby. Hey, yo. I don't care what anybody says. I know the wrestling marks, they're like, oh, doing the visible stick is weird. Oh, what's happening? Oh, this is lame. Bro, The Miz sold that shit like a champ. John Cena, Invisible John Cena, sold it like a champ. That is a 10-star. You say 5-star, 5-star? I say that's a 10-star segment on WWE Raw. The Miz hitting Invisible John Cena with the skull death finale, whatever the hell his finishing move is. Him like ducking the punches and this. That was, I was like, I popped. I'm not gonna lie. When it happened, I popped.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
You want to talk about a workhorse? You want to talk about a workhorse?
Oh, dude. For The Miz, he's only won one match in 2023. One match.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that's excited to see John Cena back. I thought that was a lot of fun. And then also on Payback, getting a little rub with LA Knight, I thought was really cool too.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, the best wrestling that I watched all week, I'm going to be a homer, cheap plug, guys. I've had 2 videos reach 1.4 million views this week. What in the hell is going on?
I told you, bro. Views are nice, but you want to get some. Getting the views are fantastic because you had a couple of Facebook videos on our side blow up. You want to get that engagement up, 5-star. Get the engagement. Engagement.
Look,
start trolling your fans that comment on it and let it start rolling.
Let's go.
The
Let's
video of me and Maria with Billy Gunn, where Billy ducks and she takes me to Slap City, has a lot of like popular, like nice comments. The other is Chris Masters giving the master lock to a cameraman, which was crazy, and it was just a real nothing video, and they are killing him in the comments. And I thought Chris Masters looked fantastic when he was in Memphis Wrestling. Man, I'm never taking my shirt off again, guys.
I mean, dude, but like the bar is so high for Chris Masters, bro. Like he was like chiseled out of stone when he was in WWE. So if you see him now,
He was also 20 years old as well.
exactly. So like people like expect him to still be chiseled out of stone in 2023. It's like, bro, life happens.
He's not a
And
sauce.
and he looks awesome still. All right, we're going to talk about a little bit more of the wrestling. Also, CM Punk was fired from AEW, but right now I caught up with former WWE World Tag Team Champion from Cryme Tyme, JTG. Check it out. Yo, JTG, what is going on, my friend?
How you doing, Dustin Starr? Everything is great.
Doing good. Thank you for joining me here on Grind City Wrestling. Everybody can follow the former World Tag Team Champion at JTG1284. Okay, so the first time that you and I ever met, I know you probably don't remember me. This was so long ago, but it was one of you guys' first nights on the main roster at FedExForum, you and Shad at Cryme Tyme. Do you remember this at FedExForum?
FedExForum in Memphis.
Yes.
I think I do remember having a dark. Did we have a dark match?
You did have a dark match. This was just before the premiere on television, and I thought it was so cool that you guys had that opportunity at Memphis with that gimmick.
Yeah, I do. I do remember having our a match in Memphis. I remember inviting my family, and we had a great reaction. Nobody knew who we were.
Yeah,
I do remember
yeah.
that. Yep.
I remember that. That was one night that Dad gave me a whole lot of advice about being the last one to leave the building.
Yeah.
And you guys stood there. We all stood there. Who was going to be the last one to leave? But that was a lot of fun. Are there any memories in particular from Memphis, or was that the only time that you guys were here?
Oh no, I have a lot of. I got some history because I used to live in Memphis for shortly. Because before I went to OVW, before I made the move officially from New York to Memphis, I stayed in Memphis for a little bit because the Greyhound bus ride was a little bit shorter. So I stayed in Memphis for a little bit, and then I eventually went back to New York, and then I made the move to OVW. So yeah, I had some family in Memphis.
I had no idea of this. So you're familiar with Memphis Wrestling, or what is? Give me the scoop
I'm
here.
familiar with Memphis Wrestling. I was just going to OVW from Memphis.
Okay.
And I have a lot of family who my uncle was a cop in Memphis.
Very cool. So maybe there will be like a little reunion of sorts at the Wrestle Center coming up.
Yeah, I know he's retired, but I'll see if he'll pull up.
Very, very cool. Well, okay, so let's talk about Cryme Tyme for just a second. I thought the gimmick was a lot of fun. Some fans thought that it was a little heat. What did you guys think of this? Because I remember it very vividly as something the fans absolutely loved.
Yeah, so Vince's vision, well, the first time our first meeting with Vince, was it in Memphis? It probably was in Memphis.
Wow.
We had a meeting with Vince, and his vision was to take the image, the negative image that people are seeing on TV of thugs and stereotypes, and flip it and make them love us. So he made some rules. He said, I don't want to see you guys with this image and not smiling. You guys are always smiling. You always got to be upbeat, And then I'm like, okay. And then whatever you guys do, like we do something that's kind of like heelish, we want to get a babyface reaction. So that's the goal. We're never gonna do anything heelish and get away steal a wrestler's stuff and keep it for ourselves. We'll auction it off to the crowd, or we have fun. Yeah. So that was his vision.
Very
and I think
cool.
we definitely captured it, and that's why we were a fan favorite.
That's why we still talk about it today. Now, on the other side of that, back in that time, a lot of us Memphis wrestlers were looking to get extra spots or get jobs and everything. So we remember very vividly that when you guys were in Little Rock, Nashville, Memphis, gosh, maybe Tupelo, if Tupelo got a TV, we were probably going to be in an extra skit with Cryme Tyme with money or in the crowd or something fun. I can't tell you how many of our friends were extras in some of those spots.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. We've got to talk for a second about our buddy Shad Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Cryme Tyme, Shad Beast. I worked with him, Shad, in the developmental territory. Just gone far too soon. Do you have any fun Shad stories that you could just share with us?
Oh, man, I have so many. I wrote 2 books about
Yeah.
trying to pick one. Sheesh.
He was
now,
just so,
give me a category. Give me a category. 'Cause
man,
there's so many stories that I don't know which one to start with.
he was such an intimidating looking guy with all of his muscles and tattoos and, you know, the roles that he played and stuff. But man, one of the nicest
Speaking of that,
guys.
because sometimes he forgets that he's a big guy. I remember one time, well, Shad, when you tell him something, he doesn't want to hear you worry. He's going to solve the problem right then and there. I remember I just moved to Louisville, Kentucky, and we was in Kroger's, you know, and we were talking about money and stuff like that. I need to get a job. I just got here, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you need to get a job? Okay, don't say nothing else more about it. That's it. I'm like, okay, because I'm used to like, you know, venting. You know, I had friends before, but, you know, Shad was like a big brother. So we went next door to Hollywood Video. We went inside.
Oh, man.
And then we just walked in. I had no idea. He just said, let's go to Hollywood Video. I had no idea what he had up his sleeve. As soon as we walk in, he looks at the manager. You the manager? Yo, my little brother need a job. And I'm like, and she's like, he's going to have to fill out a resume. She was intimidated. He's like, he's got to fill out a resume. And then he's like, so you guys need help around here? Yeah. He's like, oh, yo, Jay, you got a job. Just like that. I'm like, I have to still do the resume and the interview. I didn't get the job. But I did get the job. Just to let you know.
I'm gonna say you did get the job, so it worked. That is so much fun. All right, so enough about the past and all that good stuff. You are currently doing a lot of stuff. Like you said, you wrote a couple books. You've got a beard care product. What is this? It's Sexy as Hell Beard Care.
Sexy as Hell Beard
You're
Care, yeah.
Still wrestling too. So give us the scoop. What's going on with you now before you head out to Memphis, Tennessee?
I'm just staying busy on the indies. I have a training academy here, and also in the Los Angeles area. I train Mondays and Tuesdays. So anybody in the Los Angeles area who's listening to this, or know somebody who live in the Los Angeles area that's serious about getting into professional wrestling, that wants to know the psychology of the business, not just learning moves, because I'm not big on just showing people moves. I like the psychology, teaching people how to tell a story that's gonna capture their fans' emotions. So that's what my academy is about. So if you know anybody in Los Angeles area, holla at me. We train Mondays and Tuesdays. I'm doing that. Staying busy on the indies. I got my beard care products. I got my T-Moss products, testosterone boosting C-Moss. I'm revamping and doing. Yeah, just staying busy, man. And if so I'm gonna stay on the indies a little bit longer and get some stories up, and maybe get a third book.
I hear you. Well, you look like you're staying in fantastic shape.
Thank you.
Man, you're gonna love coming to Memphis at our Memphis Wrestling Wrestle Center.
Forward to it.
We have been training some of these students for the last 3 years, working on television. So I think you're gonna see this, and I just know from one trainer to another trainer, you're gonna be proud of what we built in Memphis, and I can't wait. So that's coming up on Sunday, September 17th. They can meet you and Fred Rosser, 2 former World Tag Team Champions there at the Wrestle Center. What can we look forward to? There's a VIP from 12:30 to 1:30, and then you're going to be in action.
Oh, yeah. So I'm just signing autographs, taking pictures, have your questions already in your head, because I know fans, when they come up to me, they get starstruck, and they're like, I had a question. Write it down. When you come up to me, you get the question out the way.
Yeah.
Let's keep the line moving. And then I'm going to get it popping in the ring.
Man, I'm going to tell you right now, we had in Memphis on September 1st every year is like a holiday because our area code is 901. So it's 901 day.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that then. Yeah.
Man, we put the tickets on sale, and ringside are all sold out.
Ringside is gone. Yeah, man.
It is going to be a packed house for JTG on September 17th. Is there any last things that you want to send out to the audience before I let you go here on Grind City Wrestling?
Memphis, I am looking forward to next weekend. It's been a long time since I've been to my second, third home.
Yeah, all right.
Back. I'm going to holler at the fan, make sure they come through, and we're going to have some fun after I win my match that night. You know?
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for joining me here on Grind City Wrestling. We'll see you on September 17th.
See you there, Memphis. Chill.
All right, guys, welcome back. Always fun catching up with JTG, telling some Shad stories. Money. Yeah. Money.
No. What? Why couldn't me and Eric get in on this damn interview? What was our phone call?
See, the way the schedule works here, you guys were unavailable. I had to record it. I mean, sorry, guys.
Because we were out making money. Yeah.
For me, as a young black man, I was a big fan. Then I got older and realized Cryme Tyme was probably one of the most racist tag teams of all time.
Now hold on a second. You heard what JTG said about it. Yes. He had a whole conversation with Vince and the whole 9 yards. But I did ask him about that, just specifically, almost for you, Devin.
I'm glad you asked, because I've always wondered, like, who the hell came up with Cryme Tyme?
Vince McMahon came up with Cryme Tyme. You heard it here. You're going to see JTG live on September 17th. Ringside or sold out. We do still have general admission. If you use the code JTG at checkout, you're going to save $5 per ticket. All right, so we had 2 premium live events.
Can we get to the topic we need to talk about?
Yeah, you had Payback. You had All Out, but the thing that everybody wants to talk about is CM Punk. You guys have heard the story. There was a fight backstage immediately following Jungle Boy or Jungle Man Jack Perry's match against Hook. He did the spot into the camera where this is real glass or whatever. It was directed towards CM Punk. CM Punk was up next, wrestling Samoa Joe. And that is where the fight allegedly took place, and it spilled over into Tony Khan's lap. So here's how I have to think of it, guys, is I'm at Memphis Wrestling, and 2 of my guys are fighting and knock some stuff over, get all over me, like, what in the hell is going on backstage at AEW? Who wants to start?
Let me ask you, like, why do you think CM Punk is that big of a problem? Do you think he's that toxic? Do you think, or listen, I'm playing devil's advocate because to a degree, I think CM Punk knows who he is and he knows who other people aren't. And that is not a good combination when you're in a group of a bunch of alpha males. That's where I'll start that from, right? But furthermore, like, could you envision that perception is reality, that all these guys are perceiving CM Punk to be better than or too good, like thinking he's too good, and they're being dicks to him, and he's like, you know what, F it, I'm just not going to put up with this shit. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm wondering.
Okay, I know. And hold on, Devin, hold on. Let me fuel you up just a little bit. CM Punk also yelled, "I quit." It's basically like saying I want a divorce every time you get mad at somebody. I'm going to quit. I'll quit. So right before going out of the curtain, yelling that he's going to quit to Tony Khan, Tony Khan said he feared for his life. He's never felt that his life was in danger at a pro wrestling show until then. He feared for his life on this thing.
Stretch. But we'll take this another direction. The CM Punk thing, I'm probably one of the most happiest people that CM Punk has finally got his ass out of the business, AEW. I know we have a huge show coming up here very soon, and that was supposed to be CM Punk's show, but cool. Good riddance, bro. This is what I like in CM Punk too. You know Antonio Brown?
Mm-hmm. CTE Brown.
CTE Brown. One of the highest levels of talent in the NFL at the receiver position. He was a star. He did this, he did that. But at some point, the antics just became way too much. And at the point, you guys have to like, yo, we don't want anything. You can be a star. We don't want anything to do with you. Get away from me. Get far away from me. Tom Brady was like, I'm going to take you in. I want you to live with me. I want you to, yo, you're wilding. Get away from me. So I like this to CM Punk being a top tier talent, coming into AEW, being the guy, but rubbing people the wrong way. You know how much of an asshole you have to be for WWE not to want you back ever?
Yeah, but here's where I liken this to, right? It's kind of like you reap what you sow. For everything that people are disliking, in my opinion, from afar, for everything that people, his colleagues, and everybody are disliking CM Punk for, is the reason CM Punk is CM Punk in this current thing. He was a guy who, to a degree, broke the mold. He was a Paul Heyman guy. He came in pissing people off. He broke down those walls as a non-body guy, getting over because he was brash behind the scenes, because he did cut these interviews, these shoot style interviews, because he started shit with, John Cena, and because he started shit with all these people, and he had Paul Heyman fueling him. This is the way you go. And it got him to here. At what point do you need to be like, I need to play the game now?
Yeah. His platforms are gone. His platforms are now gone.
But for the reason CM Punk became CM Punk is, to a degree, the downfall of CM Punk.
For sure. Couple of quick notes. Jack Perry was not fired. I've seen people in an uproar that he wasn't fired. CM Punk wasn't fired for that one instance. He was fired for several instances. AEW, they go on the air on Collision, and I know we only have a couple of minutes. Tony Khan goes on live television and tells the fans that he fired one of their top stars. Why would you do that immediately like that? 89,000 people tuned out. The lowest rated show under 300, or what is it?
It was 347.
347, under 500,000 now. But you did that to yourself. This story did not play out on television. Why would you get in front of that audience and tell them that so they could change the channel?
Oh, Bret Hart screwed Bret Hart. He was probably taking that. He wanted Bret Hart heel.
AEW tried. They tried to get Dennis Rodman. They tried to replace with another Chicago legend, and it did nothing. It literally did nothing to increase any viewership or anything.
You haven't. I know we're up against it right now, but you didn't give us your opinion. Me and Devin talked. You didn't.
It eventually comes to a point where the problem just outweighs the talent. And then you also have to look. CM Punk's probably not going back to WWE, right? He's out of AEW. So he's not going to even compete against you at this point. So you took away his whole wrestling platform. CM Punk basically gave away his wrestling platform. Sure, he has Twitter and Facebook and all these other things. And I know, Eric, you're working with him in a couple of weeks. You need to tell him that we want to talk to him on this podcast. And he could tell all the people. We will ask him straight up, and he could tell the people his honest, exactly what's going on. I would love that. I don't think it'll happen. But if you get a chance, Eric, please ask him. But yeah, it's like it would be similar to one of my top guys in Memphis Wrestling becoming such a problem that you just have to take away the platform. And that's what's happened, unfortunately. All right, we are running really low on time.
The juice ain't worth the squeeze.
That's right. We are live coming up, guys, this Saturday on Memphis Wrestling and Friday on Memphis Wrestling at 11 p.m. It's the road to the Dyer County Fair. Saturday night, we are live at the Dyer County Fair in Dyersburg, Tennessee. Memphis Wrestling is free when you pay to get into the fair. Also, September 16th, we have Fred Rosser coming to perform a pro wrestling seminar here at the Wrestle Center. The 17th of September is Fred Rosser and JTG live. Get those tickets at memphiswrestling.tv. September 22nd and 23rd, Impact Wrestling is live in Memphis, and you can see all the stars there at Graceland. Then September 25th, Mid-South Fair with Tommy Dreamer. We got 60 seconds. E-Rock, what's coming up this week?
Don't got a lot this week, but next week I'm going to be in North Dakota. We'll talk about it. I will be there with CM Punk. Cage Fury Fighting Championships. I'll be third man in the cage. He will be on commentary with my co-host, Cage Shot with John Morgan, and that's what I got going on. Devin, welcome. Go.
Talk to CM Punk for us. Devin.
Screw CM Punk once again. We got Grace Caravans coming this weekend. We're going to Little Rock, Arkansas. Not Arkansas. Jonesboro, Arkansas, and Little Rock. 2 places. We'll be there. Screw CM Punk. Screw him. Go away. Get away. Good riddance. Go Grizz.
For Eric McMahon, he's Devin Walker. I'm Dustin Starr. Big shout out to JTG. That was Grind City Wrestling. Oh, yeah.